Maybe we're going to start.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Gross, and I'm president of Communities United Against Police Brutality. And we are holding this press conference today to talk about what happened with the Walker Church fire. We were the three tenant organizations that rented office space in Walker Church and essentially lost everything in this fire. You know, as people are aware, the fire was on Sunday, May 27th, my apologies, and a massive fire broke out. Some of us learned of the fire right away and were down here during the night while the fire was burning, and I have to tell you personally, it was excruciating to watch the fire consume our office in 11 and a half years of our work. But more than that, you know, as sad as that was, and as sad as we are that some firefighters were injured, we're equally appalled by the fact that the very next morning, the city was out at 7 a.m. bashing this building to the ground, giving no opportunity whatsoever for an investigation. You know, we don't know what caused the fire. We don't even want to speculate about what might have caused the fire. But we do know that in similar situations, city fire departments direct the assembly of support structures that could have held up the building so that it was safe and so that an investigation could happen. And what we want to know, and what we are demanding to know, is who directed the city to bring in an outside demolition firm and bash this building to the ground only 4 hours after the fire was extinguished, without notice to the tenant. That's what we're demanding to know. And so at this point, I want to turn this over to Deb Knitsky with Welfare Rights Committee.
Hi, I'm Deb Knitsky, and I'm one of the co-founding members of the Welfare Rights Committee, which was founded over 20 years ago. And our office was on the far side of the church in the basement. So the last place the fire would have reached was to the basement area. And under that rubble there right now is 20 years of our history. 20 years of documents, of press coverage, of photographs, of banners, of posters. 20 years of our history that's really an amazing history, not just locally but nationally, that has been lost in this devastation. We were never notified of a demolition. We were never given the opportunity to try and get salvageable items out. And we don't even know if we lost all of our items in this fire because we were never given the chance to secure those items. And it's our understanding that that is pretty much standard protocol in a fire. One, an investigation, and two, to allow the tenants to have a chance to secure any salvageable objects or items. This is our entire history. I don't care about the computers or the copy machines or anything else. What I care about is that we have lost the documentation of our history that is really important for organizations like ours, a low-income organization that's been fighting against the, to stop the war on the poor in this state for 20 years. That history is now buried under that rubble, and we're sickened by it. We're outraged that we were not given the opportunity to try to secure it. Secondly, we're outraged because if this would have been a wealthy church in Edina, really, would they have bulldozed it within 4 hours of extinguishing the flames without any investigation? We really have a right to know definitively what the cause of this fire was. And because they botched that investigation, they recklessly and prematurely demolished the evidence, we may never have the right to know what the cause of that fire was. And that is wrong. We not only have the right to know, we have the right to our items that may be still sitting under that. And we're demanding immediately, within 24 hours, we want the city to decide to let us know how they're going to remove the rubble from on top of our office so we can try and still get in and get anything that we can, that is a part of our history, so we can still have part of that history. By doing what they did on Monday morning, on Memorial Day morning, really, the city was quite quick. We know how slow the city can be to attend to things, How was it that within 4 hours they were able, on a holiday, to come in and totally demolish all of the evidence that could have been there to the cause of the fire, and totally cover up any of the salvageable things that may still be resting there? We want them to excavate our offices so we can get in and get the things that still may exist there, that may never have been touched by the fire. And that is our demand today. We want to know, we want answers. Why they botched this investigation, why they intentionally and recklessly tore down the building before securing it so they could collect evidence, and why they did not allow us to get in and get our things.
Hi, my name is Mikhail. I'm from the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Coalition. Our office is also housed here. It was housed in the basement as well in the front. When the fire broke out, a member of our organization was here, and actually when the fire was extinguished, a member of our organization was here to actually see items in our office still salvageable, and was not allowed access to get them. We want to know immediately why that was, why there was why the city intentionally bulldozed the property for any evidence to be recovered before any investigation could be had. We want access to what's left of our property immediately, within 24 hours. We want to know why the city purposefully, as Deb said, on a holiday, within only a few hours of the fire being out, bulldozed the evidence and allowed evidence to be taken away.
Yeah. I want to add that, not only did the city allow immediately bring in a demolition crew and bulldoze this building, but they allowed large numbers of the community to take away property from this space, not, in any way securing our property that was in this space, and again, letting people take away mementos. One of the mementos that was taken was our mailbox. Our mailbox was intact. Our federal mailbox was intact on the wall, and I have pictures that show this. And we know that mailbox had important mail in it. And when we came, I tried to stop them from demolishing our mailbox. They wouldn't, and I served them with papers, and they ignored those papers, bulldozed down the wall. I could see our mailbox in here. They wouldn't allow me to take it, but when we came back later to try to get it, someone else had stolen it. So they actually allowed people into this area to take things away before allowing the very organizations that rented this space and that had this property here to even recover that property. No other property of ours would have been recoverable because we were in the attic and that was where the fire started. So we weren't looking for other property to be salvageable. We knew it wouldn't be. But our mailbox, something that had our mail in it, was stolen from here because they failed to secure it and failed to allow us to take it away, as the rightful owners of that mailbox.
And I want to add one more point that I think is, I didn't get to see whether this was in the media or not, but only 2 months ago in Walker Church, there was, when the administrator came in the morning, all of the gas burners had been turned on without being lighted. And the church was consumed with gas, full of gas. They had to call in the emergency teams to check it out. And that was being investigated at that time as a possible arson. And so, again, my question is, with that history, to me, it would make sense that we would want a full and definitive investigation of a fire that burned this church to the ground. And I think it's unbelievable that the fire chief, said that, well, no, I guess we'll never really know what caused the fire. We will never really know because somebody gave the order to come in and demolish the structure before any kind of investigation could take place. And that is unbelievable. Again, this is a church. It's a progressive church in a low-income community with a number of political organizations not only housed in it, but that use the church on a weekly basis. And they demolished any evidence of this church, and they would never have done that in one of the rich suburbs had a church gone up in fire.
You fear that arson may be a part of that because of the work that's being done.
Well, I think any of our organizations, always have that in mind. I mean, it isn't like our organizations are supported by 100% by war, we're, welfare rights, we're immigrant rights, of course. course, we come under, you know, attack at many different places. We can't speculate as to whether this was or was not something, you know, some kind of man-made fire or a natural fire. We can't speculate. The fact is, though, we do